January 12th, 2021 was the day I finally started watching the Boruto anime after finishing the legendary shonen masterpiece Naruto. So now I'm back 5 years later to see if the anime manga that rubbed me off the wrong way can now make me at peace. So now today we will be reviewing the Momoshiki Arc. Now, I will mainly use just the manga side of the story, but if I need to, I will use a few anime moments to enlarge the story, but don't expect much. I don't like using the anime for manga material. I just like using the manga. It's easier for me as an editor. So this opening arc has a criteria of list that it was trying to achieve and that I wanted to see. Could the story of Boruto live up to the hype that Naruto had? This is really important because most TV shows and movies and even manga sequels never hit as good as the original. Dragon Ball and Seven Deadly Sins are examples of manga that did hit good with its sequel. However, it could fall like the Trico or whatever you call it, the trilogy, Dragon Ball Super. It's all about handling your characters, the previous world building established, and setting up in a way that enhances and flows properly, and making the story just flow naturally. Would they be able to make proper use of the sidecast? This is very important because the Naruto sidecast wasn't even used that well, so hopefully they make changes with how they use the Boruto sidecast. With the new additions and making a proper blend, how well would they handle the two main themes of this arc, being the parenthood bond between Naruto and Boruto, and even Sasuke and Sarada, and the theme of cheating in Boruto, and learning the right way from the wrong. Now let's get into the sequel to greatness. Chapter 1, Uzumaki Boruto! My goodness, this is peak. Koda has destroyed. Boruto is on the Naruto's face on the Hokage monument with a broken, everything's broken, bro. And Boruto has a scar on his right eye. Sasuke's cloak is on him. What is the curse mark wannabe tattoo on both of these boys? It's on this Karaki guy too. I mean, like, who gave him the 2012 Karai hairstyle, bro? Bro's looking hella drippy though. I mean, Ikimoto, I know you hate drawing kids, but come on, this art style is super ugly. Like, the only person who looks decent here is Mitsuki. Like, Sasuke is just ugly, bro. Why is Sasuke dead apparently? Where the hell is Naruto? Why is Sasuke looking uglier than Naruto? I mean, Naruto got this ugly ass dad haircut and Sasuke still looks uglier than him. Damn! Mitsuki is actually fine though. Still, gosh, the fact that you kept Mitsuki still clean, props to you for that, Ikimoto. We see in one panel in the current story that this won't be like Naruto, while it will expand on the Otsutsuki like Kaguya and drives into a Dragon Ball Z manga style. We see Boruto is not like his dad. He isn't trying to become the Hokage. His story currently is like that of Naruto. In one way, he didn't care about being a ninja like that of Naruto. Before the Land of Waves, Boruto was like Azuma, but we never got focused on young Azuma Sarutobi, who was the son of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. This must have been another shinobi who went through a similar path of Boruto. However, one difference is Azuma grew up in a time of war, meanwhile Boruto grew up in a time of peace. So while most people will slander Boruto for being a brat, for hating his dad, it makes sense as it's a concept Kishimoto had in his fingertips but never really got to experiment with before. So as Boruto states, while this is his story, for now it's the story of him and his dad, hence the title Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Boruto is the opposite of Naruto, even in fighting style. While Naruto was the opposite of Prodigy, he trained harder than anyone else every single day. Meanwhile, Boruto is book smart unlike Naruto because he had a mother to keep him on track. Unlike Naruto, he was also very proficient with taijutsu and ninjutsu, already having changes in water style, lightning style, and wind style. He took down the panda in the first mission showcased with his new Team 7. Another animal first mission showcased after what his father went through as well. We get to see how Naruto and the older generation of the Konoha 12 are doing. We see that Boruto has his father's cockiness though. Going back to the theme of family, we are brought to Boruto's sister, who is a perfect plot device in early Boruto to see the happier side of Boruto and make Naruto have to come home for her birthday. She brings the brightest moments of the Uzumaki family, as Boruto with daddy issues demands he comes home and makes his daughter happy. The other theme of this arc I wanted to focus on besides family is ninjutsus, a scientific ninjutsu that can store ninjutsu inside of it. It seems it's a prototype. You can only lock in one jutsu at a time for now. So it's pretty flawed. As soon as Konohamaru launches his shadow paralysis on the planner, he couldn't do it again and inserted a Rasengan in it. As he also states before, as its use had expired. Also, another flaw is the fact that you can't aim it perfectly as you have to launch it, but this may be fixed. We go through the build-up for the Chūnin exams, and Boruto expresses his mind to Sarada that if she wants to become Hokage, that she should stay single, as he doesn't want Sarada's child to go through what he is going through, his hatred towards his dad, and what makes him finally enter the Chūnin exams. Everything seems to be okay for Himawari's birthday, with even Naruto seemingly being at home, until it's revealed it was a shadow doppelganger dropping the cake and the vibe of the whole party. Which leads into the page where Boruto definitely got lots of hate for. Boruto gets to see his dad's world throughout his jacket and photos, thinking his dad has come home. He rushes to go attack him to only see what would be his soon idol and reason for being a ninja. His ninja ray being Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke's presence here increases the stakes by bringing up a scroll from Kaguya's castle, which we'll get into soon. We'll get into Sasuke and Naruto betting on if Boruto is not a shinobi like them, or if he has the soul of a shinobi from older generations. We finally end the chapter with Boruto confronting Sasuke again, asking him to make him a student. Now, really good opening chapter, made use of most of the characters that we have, and hopefully we will continue to do that. Not every chapter can do that, as some chapters need to focus on other characters more than others, especially establishing the younger generation first. But it's a good thing that they kept in mind that they still have the older generation around too. Now, one thing I do want to notice is that Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all have their color palettes, being orange and blue being the opposite of each other like rivals, and then you have pink being the middle ground for it. Now, if you look at Boruto's team, it's Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. Boruto has like a reddish pink, and the opposite of that is like a blue-green, which is Mitsuki's color palette in a sense, if you look at his clothing. And now, if you look at Sarada, she's like a reddish type. And if you look on the monochrome color thing or whatever, you can see that pale red is like the direct link between pink and light blue-green or whatever you call that color. So yeah, I found it interesting that Kishimoto still found a way to keep that parallel between the two Team 7s. Really great job from Kishimoto. Now let's get into chapter 2. The training begins. We get into the wholesome duo of Boruto and Sasuke, which is put on hold because Boruto can't use the Rasengan yet. We get to see Sasuke versus Kinshiki, a fight in the anime that did such justice. I think this was the first like insanely animated fight in the anime too, so props on that. Kinshiki is an Otsutsuki just like Kaguya, and this happened during Sasuke's investigation. We also get to see the main villain for this arc being the partner of Kinshiki, the stronger of the two being Momoshiki. This does a great job of building tension to a massive threat for both Naruto and Sasuke while giving Boruto something to work for. So currently the story is making good use of its cast. Now we will see how they integrate Boruto into the main fight later. We see Boruto's habit of giving up when things get even remotely hard for him until a quick pep talk from Konohamaru. We also get to see something that's been happening since Naruto chapter 700, and that's Sarada's watchful eye on Boruto since they were kids. So she would always stalk Boruto and watch over him. Boruto, who learned a jutsu that took his grandfather 3 years and his father almost a whole month, learns the Rasengan in a few days and accidentally adds a chakra nature to it. This kid is actually freaking insane. Boruto's impatience here is another thing that pissed me off in this arc, as nearly the whole arc wouldn't have played out the way it did had Boruto not run off earlier. The cheating and all that just wouldn't have happened, and those are the things that like really rub Boruto off the wrong way for the majority of the audience. So yeah, we'll get into that later though. During all this, my black butter and Christ killer B and Gyuki is getting penetrated in all his 8 tentacles. God damn! As we know, Otsutsuki love chakra and take it all from a planet for planet chakra trees or whatever the heck they be doing, which they eat the tree to update data or whatever. This is a south outing for Killer B, as he was a sacrifice to show how powerful Momoshiki really was, as we did not get to see him show off because only Kinshiki showed off against Sasuke. Chapter 3, the Chūnin exams. We see everyone getting ready for the Chūnin exams, and to be honest, this portion of the arc sucked. We had Boruto getting scolded by Sasuke for expecting things to be easy to his liking, and Boruto contemplating using scientific ninja tools. And Naruto had banned it from earlier in the Chūnin exams. Boruto almost failed the first test in the Chūnin exams until Sarada and Mitsuki saved him. In Capture the Flag, Boruto was finally forced to cheat for his father's approval by making a massive water style jutsu and even adding it up with lightning style to add flavor points. By the way, don't hate Boruto for this because his dad would have done the same thing if given the opportunity, which he almost did, but Kabuto stopped him. Stupid old man. Chapter 4. Naruto actually comes to give Boruto a pep talk as a congrats for making it to round 3 of the Chūnin exams. They have a heartwarming with Naruto telling Boruto not to sell his parley against Shikamaru. Boruto has the first fight of the Chūnin exams and he does pretty well, but when Boruto is pressured once again, he uses the scientific ninja tool, which this time impressed me because it worked, because when aiming it, he didn't have problems like Konohamaru, so either they had actually perfected the ninja tool or Boruto actually just overcame the flaw with sheer skill alone, which is either a feat to him or a feat to the scientific ninja team. That move won Boruto the match. Sarada one-punches her match. Shikadai, Araya, Mitsuki, and Shinki all win their matches too. Boruto vs Shikadai is the first semi-final match. And fun fact, the manga, if the Chūnin exams didn't get cancelled, would have actually had different fights for the semi-finals. Sarada would have fought Mitsuki and Araya would have fought Shinki. So we could have seen a whole Boruto vs Sarada vs Shinki triple threat or Shikadai in that. Shikadai packs up Boruto faster than I bet the McDonald's cheeseburgers back in the day, but Boruto cheats with everyone watching. So Daddy had to come and give belts with the VAR. Now, actually, in the manga, he doesn't even use Hinata as VAR. He is the VAR. Naruto just knew his son was up to no good. Naruto exposes the fraud on live 4K. The humiliation was so bad, Momoshiki and Kinshiki had to come up and see that in 8K. Damn! Chapter 5, Momoshiki and Kinshiki. The party is just beginning. Naruto had told Boruto that he's gonna give him belt at home, and Katasuke brought the camera to put it all in 16K. Momoshiki and Kinshiki make their attack, and Naruto's friends save the Konoha residents to survive the destruction. Momoshiki decks Naruto with a sneak attack. Sasuke saves his daughter from becoming fresh kebab, and Momoshiki tried stealing Kaguya's flow foot for foot, bar for bar, and by not even caring for Boruto's existence. I love the moment where Boruto just spams jutsus as if it's my little cousin playing Tekken or something from the updated scientific ninja tool, and it all doesn't work on Momoshiki because of the fact he can absorb jutsus. It's a really touching narrative of everything wrong Boruto did being thrown back at him. It's like all of Boruto's demons coming back to him, but stronger. Everything he used through cheating and other means than his own strength. It's very poetic. Now, while we're on this, I really want to talk about how the main protagonist, Boruto, and the main antagonist, Momoshiki, were both prodigies among their clans from what we know. Both rely on external means when things aren't going their way, being doping for Momoshiki and Boruto using ninja tools. They both use cheap tricks and mechanisms to both get what they want and never really want to show hard work and grits when things are getting rough. From what we have seen in this arc, when they truly want something, they will stop at nothing to achieve it, no matter whose dreams they crush in the process. Boruto, seeing a potential evil version of himself about to end everything that his father fought to protect, is such a beautiful visual. In a way, he starts to regret everything he has done in terms of cheating and now figures out what he must do: protect his childhood friend Sarada, the one who was always watching over him like an angel's helper, the one with the dream of being Hokage, the one dream that he hated because of his father. So now he must protect his best friend's dream by keeping her alive in the process from the ultimate doom that was coming from the person he resented. Now, the only person who could stop the ultimate doom coming was the person he resented the most, his own dad, as he shows Boruto what it truly means to be Hokage and uses the power he had gained from multiple sources: Mount Miyaboku, the Rasengan, Jiraiya, his friend Kurama, all of it put into one defense. And everyone who has been a part of his story. Naruto tells Sasuke to take care of the kids, as it's time for Naruto to use everything he has to protect the village and live up to the name of Hokage. Chapter 6, Buffoon. Kurama's avatar comes out and charges up a tailed beast bomb, but because he's in the village, he knows he can't press R2. With this, Sasuke's words come full circle to Boruto. He was once a quintessential loser full of weaknesses, but he pulled himself up with his own strength, became the Hokage. Instead of Naruto today, you should study the Naruto of the past. With that, it feels like a dream that is a reality that Boruto has to wake up to. Hinata got that deja vu chakra rod beating from the Otsutsukis. With all that remains of him is a piece of the Hokage's cloak. Boruto walks into the Hokage's office. Boruto understands the main difference between him and Naruto. Naruto was the son of the Hokage, but his father died. So he didn't have that experience of even having parents. Boruto did get to experience a life with parents and even a little sister. He picks up his dad's old jacket, the final one he had before Jiraiya bought him a new one. Boruto had lost the right to be called a shinobi and his father, and almost lost his mother too. However, he had a chance to get it all back. Sasuke, Boruto, and the 5 Kage go to save Naruto, but before they enter the portal, he is confronted by his mom. And in response, he puts on his sensei's headband, the one that Naruto scratched over 2 decades ago. Now they are ready to go save Naruto. Chapter 7, Collision. Naruto was getting drained really hard, and I bet he was wishing that Hinata was doing it. Jiraiya gets the fight started by trying to butcher up Momoshiki real fast. Boruto and Sasuke save Naruto, and he takes a good look at his son, who isn't wearing his clean jacket anymore, but instead he's wearing his own dirty jacket with scratches and it's worn apart. It looks like Sasuke has won his bet against Naruto. Naruto has lost 2 parlays to Shikamaru and Sasuke. Life lesson of the day, people: never bet against people that are smarter than you. They have a heartwarming conversation where Boruto accepts his dad for who he is and the way things shouldn't change. Instead of lecturing him, he instead wants to learn about his past. We cut back to the battle where Sasuke is struggling against Kinshiki until Chojiwa comes to the rescue. Kinshiki puts him on the ropes too until Kurosuchi sends him flying. And Sasuke follows that up with a combo of a Chidori. They all proceed to put Kinshiki in a body bag, and Sasuke goes over to help him against Momoshiki. This fight is really impactful as it took the whole team to take down Kinshiki this time, and even though Sasuke could have handled it alone, he really just let the whole team help him. This correlates pretty well to Boruto's first mission, where Boruto could have won by himself but still had help. It's a sign that in life, while you may be able to handle things by yourself, letting yourself have the ability to lean on others makes things easier on yourself for the future. Naruto returns to the battle and wants to start using shadow clones, but Boruto tells him he can't because Momoshiki can absorb ninjutsu, so Naruto can't use his favorite jutsu. Sasuke sums up the dynamic between Momoshiki and Boruto in 2 panels. You can absorb others' jutsus and use them as your attacks, but that ammunition is gone once you use it. Just like the scientific ninja tool, Momoshiki, knowing he is about to get the JJK jumping, says, "Let me eat a member of my own clan." Bro, this guy was brutal! Now Fused Momoshiki is born and bodies are gonna reach the floor. KFC, it's finger looking good. Chapter 8, you'll need to do it. 1 body down, 2nd body down, 3rd body down, last body down. 4 one-shots. Momoshiki was truly embracing that One Punch Man energy. Naruto and Momoshiki begins to start running hands. The anime did this fight such pure justice, there was no way the manga would ever be able to keep up with it. You know how the story goes. They swap hands in a 2v1 situation, and then Naruto and Sasuke uses their avatars to take down Momoshiki. Now, the most annoying part of this arc comes where, yes, Katasuke, yes, the freaking scientist Katasuke comes in to have the finishing blow. However, this adds up to Sasuke's chakra reserve hype, like he carried Boruto, the 4 Kage, and Katasuke with the assistance. So instead of people saying that he carries 5 people, no, he carried 7 people in that portal. Damn, Sasuke's reserves must be high. And who knows what else he did and how far the distance of him versus Kinshiki was to that fight. So Sasuke has insane chakra reserves. Now Momoshiki is back, and don't forget, there was one jutsu he had not yet used but absorbed from Earth. The Shadow Paralysis Jutsu. Everyone got caught lacking except for Boruto. This is a perfect excuse to make Boruto essential in the main battle without having him have to be as strong as the bad guy. And with just 1 jutsu he created with his own strength, he is now the one to settle things for now. Chapter 9, you remind me of. Boruto launches his Rasengan, but it doesn't make it. However, Momoshiki got played. Boruto's Rasengan is a vanishing Rasengan, the perfect jutsu to counter Momoshiki. He couldn't detect it because of his attitude towards the weak. It was such a brilliant scenario, having Momoshiki not get attacked because of the person being able to rival his strength, but because of his over-reliance on absorbing ninjutsu. Just like how Boruto was getting caught lacking because of his over-reliance on the ninja tech, making sure everything would be okay, and having that situation thrown back at him, literally in the face, Momoshiki had the same thing. His over-reliance on absorbing let him get caught off guard, and he didn't even use the Byakugan to check if there was a jutsu that could be invisible, because he was so confident on how stronger he was compared to Boruto. His guard was completely down. This allowed the new main character's jutsu to shine perfectly in a way that shows promise for the future of Shinobi, a jutsu that only Boruto could have pulled off in this situation to take down Momoshiki. Had any other jutsu or any other person been in that scenario, things might have not likely been the same. And Sasuke says it was such a risk even he didn't want to pull that off. With that, everyone is free. Momoshiki prepares for his final attack, and in response, Naruto tells Boruto to make another Rasengan, in which he does. But Naruto shows his son power that was built up from friends, teachers, parents, even former rivals. It's now time for Boruto to man up and save the day, to take a step into his father's shoes. He wants to learn about his father's journey, but at one stage he will have to take a step in his father's shoes, so this is just a preview. Sasuke is the diversion to give Boruto a clear chance to defeat Momoshiki. Boruto being a clone and Sasuke's sword was such a cool-headed plan by the two of them. Boruto gets caught only to become Shoyo Hinata and become the greatest decoy ever. He pulls off a supermassive Rasengan against Momoshiki. He is able to stick it through to kill Momoshiki and end the day. Chapter 10. My story. We see the aftermath of the battle with Boruto in Momoshiki's dimension in his mind, where Momoshiki pulls up. Momoshiki really establishes the point of being able to see Boruto's interesting fate. Momoshiki simply tells him, "Beware, those blue eyes shall eventually take everything away from you, and know this, those who defeat the gods cannot remain ordinary individuals. Reflect upon thy fate as you walk it, human child." Chills. We catch up several days later with Ino Shikocho team on a mission, and poor Shikurai probably did too good of a job and got promoted to Chūnin, which is a drag to him. We see Shinki and the Sand team getting on the train ride home, and he reflects on how Boruto was the one to defeat Momoshiki, the brat who could barely get by in any of the stages of the Chūnin exams and needed help from external sources. Gaara gives him some good life advice that we shouldn't focus on the progress of others that are making success, but to focus on your own path to success. We get to see Naruto and Boruto on their way to their respective jobs on good terms. On the Hokage phase, we have Team 7 on it, where Boruto's decision on if he will become Hokage comes into question. Boruto declines any interest in walking that path that his grandfather and dad did. Just because they did it doesn't mean he has to walk the same path too. But instead he wants to be Sarada's right-hand man. His goal is to become a Shadow Hokage like Sasuke. That is his shinobi way. Sarada can't help but blush at Boruto's determination and comments on Boruto's blue eyes being bluer than the Lord 7th. With that, it makes Momoshiki's message come back to Boruto. Konohama tells them it's time for their mission, and what unravels under the bandage is a diamond mark on Boruto that gives vibes to the marking on his body from the first chapter. Many mysteries to be told, but for now we are entering another saga of Boruto's story. Now I want to analyze some character dynamics and give my pros, cons, and conclusion to this opening arc. For Boruto, I really talked a lot about him and mainly focused on him because he's the main character throughout the review. And while most people hated him, I really didn't hate his character, as Kishimoto could have explored his character more in Asuma Sarutobi, but in a different wartime, but we never got that. So it was pretty interesting to see Kishimoto's take on this concept. Boruto was in a time of peace, so him giving up easily made sense, as there was no pressure for these students, this new generation. However, his impatience of changing the whole trajectory of the arc just because he thought he failed annoyed me, and it made sense as it made all the steps to this arc happen, which really unfolded pretty well with good payoffs and good lessons, but it did annoy me. However, I'm hopeful for his character to progress into a more mature character that we will get for him in the time skip, but we have long ways to go for that. Sarada, it was cool seeing her being the protective person over Boruto, and having the goal of Hokage really adds on to another layer of her character, since we are actually getting to see her in the main story. The other two Uchiha who wanted to be Hokage, being Fukaku and Obito, were not in Naruto's generation, so we wouldn't have gotten much focus of them in terms of trying to be Hokage. Now that the spotlight Sarada has is bigger than any Uchiha trying to become Hokage, the readers like me will be engaged to see if she can actually become Hokage. And we also have the fact that she is a female Uchiha, which means will she get a lot of focus like the other Uchihas have in Itachi, Sasuke, Obito, and Madara, or will she be a flop just because she's female? We never know, but we'll see soon. Because the Naruto franchise has a huge habit of failing their female cast. She has her mother's strength and her parents' fighting IQ. Definitely has her mother's anger issues too, although she is more supportive towards Boruto than Sakura was to Naruto. Maybe that's because she actually has a crush on him. We need more moments with her and Mitsuki alone though, because Boruto being there doesn't allow the two of them to have a bond, really. I know the anime gave all the characters more moments, but I'm really focusing on the manga as it's easier for me to analyze the concrete part of the story. For Mitsuki, Bo is just a Boruto glaze. I'll touch on his personal chapter in a different video, but that's not the time for it. But without that personal chapter, he really isn't interesting. Sure, he has cool powers, but his character is kind of like Sai, but not being a fish out of water, but being a snake moon without a spiral sun. For Naruto, I loved how he is having to be mature, as Hokage is not something that you can be reckless with. You cannot use reckless attacks at enemies like he used to do when he was a child. Now he is thinking about the Konoha civilian safety first. Him struggling with the Hokage paperwork was something I always wanted to see, and Shikamaru just being his right-hand man is perfect. The two laziest boys in class now won Konoha. He really has matured, but is still a buffoon at times, not understanding some certain things that Sasuke still has to put him into place and Shikamaru has to carry him with. I don't really know where they can take his character from here, but I'm all here for it. Sasuke, after going through many phases in Naruto, he finally settled down with Sakura and had a child. Settle down is the wrong word though, as he is never home. He does have a bigger role in this arc than Naruto, being the fact that he is Boruto's master, giving a Piccolo and Gohan relationship in Boruto. It is really essential for his character to grow, and this was a really cool path to see, him being Naruto's son's master. Their dynamic really works well, and it's fun how both of the kids are inspired by their opposite fathers. For Sasuke, it's like atoning for what he did to Naruto by watching over his son and making him a top-notch shinobi. This toned down, mature Sasuke was really great to watch. I would like to see more moments with him and his daughter, but I will cover that in a future video. For the pros, I would say very good use of pacing, great characters, excelled in the themes of parenthood and how you use your weapons, had a good arc ending. Main character didn't get insane buff to defeat the bad guy. For the cons, it was Katasuke and making a mockery of the Chūnin exams. My favorite arc in part 1, either that, it's the Sasuke retrieval arc, but those were my favorite arcs, and making a mockery out of the Chūnin exams really bugged me the wrong way. In conclusion, this was a very good opening to the story of Boruto. It utilized the cast pretty well, had very good use of pacing for a monthly manga, didn't force Boruto to be super strong to beat the enemy, but made use of his arsenal to catch Momoshiki off guard for the win. It established the themes of parenthood pretty well between Naruto and Boruto. Boruto and Momoshiki, the main protagonist and antagonist, had similar stories, which made it very interesting to see, especially since Momoshiki is now a part of Boruto. And that actually gives so much tension to the future of the story, as we will have to see Boruto trying to have to fight off his own demons in Momoshiki. Boruto rebuking Momoshiki's methods of life after seeing that in his own self was really a nice touch to the story. And now Naruto saw that once he wore the true path of a shinobi and put in the hard work, he entrusted his son with his own power to do his job, and the story has so many left and rights he could go through. But that's it for now. Arigato, shuku fuku sabe su desu kete kudasai, sukidasu.